Welcome to the Maverick Paradox podcast, where we explore what it is to be a maverick and discover effective modes of leadership. I am Judith Germain. My mission is to propel the maverick mindset into a world where character and integrity will ultimately have a higher premium than personality and bureaucracy. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you would like to continue with me, then please subscribe to my podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, or one of the other popular podcast platforms. Today, we depart from our usual conversation with format to allow me to just talk about some aspect of mavericks or leadership direct with you. Today, I thought it'd be interesting to read the prologue of my book, The Maverick Paradox, The Secret Power Behind Successful Leaders, as a little introduction to the topic that I love the most, mavericks and leadership. So here's the prologue. HR. We are going to have to discipline John. This can't go on. He's upset Janie again, and I'm fed up of her crying in my office day after day. This is bullying and it has to stop. What are you going to do about it? Manager. Look, I know that John can be insensitive at times, but he means well. It's just that he doesn't suffer fools gladly, and Janie's work has been slipping. HR. That's no excuse. Manager. I know. What am I going to do though? The customer loves him and the sales director thinks he's wonderful. We do know that he has outsold everyone in the company every year for the last 4 years. I can't discipline him just because he makes someone cry occasionally. What would I do if he leaves? HR. So what are you suggesting? The above conversation and others like it are commonplace in companies, much to the frustration of HR departments everywhere. Over the many years that I've worked with mavericks, I've observed that their multifaceted nature can often be perceived as an enigma. Their managers struggle to know how to harness the secret power that they possess, and their friends have a fierce loyalty and sometimes fear of them. Further analysis shows that there are two types of maverick, socialised and extreme, which react in different ways to stimuli. There are almost two sides of the same maverick coin, although one type is highly toxic and has the capability to destroy the world if left to their own devices. The other is a catalyst or beneficial challenge to the status quo. Mavericks can influence or manipulate situations and people to achieve what they want. They are observant and notice small nuances or changes in behaviour which they use to their advantage. Unlike socialised mavericks, extreme mavericks tend to manipulate rather than influence. This often causes havoc and bad feeling across an entire organisation. The disruption can lead to the management being too scared to rein in the maverick's excessive behaviour and allow the maverick to become highly successful despite causing mayhem along the way. Having a poor leadership cadre can and will ruin companies and lives. It is common to see managers that tend to be inflexible in their leadership style. These managers have often chosen a style that they like, which they then try to apply to everyone and every situation that they come across. The solution to both poor leadership and poor performance from your workforce is to encourage more managers and employees to become maverick leaders. Any individual can learn how to become one if sufficiently motivated. Being a maverick leader is not dependent on having a formal role of authority, e.g. a manager. Maverick leadership is a way of life, not an organisational formal process. The plight of the maverick has always fascinated me, and during my career I have been bemused as to why people have struggled so much to understand and anticipate the maverick's moods and motivations. Maverick behaviour seems so perfectly obvious to me, although it took many years for me to realise that I too was a maverick. This was because, like many people, I believed that there was only one type of maverick, the extreme maverick, and I knew that the behavioural traits of this maverick was unlike my own. It was only after studying maverick behaviour, motivation and capabilities did I come to the realisation that there was more than one type. It comes with great relief that I can declare I am a socialised maverick, willfully independent not only in personality but in behaviour also. Mavericks are often misunderstood with their motives misinterpreted, which can lead to disastrous results in the workplace or in an individual's psyche, especially if they are subject to an extreme maverick's eye. To understand how all types of maverick wield their secret power, you need to be aware of how mavericks think, the capabilities that they have, and their likely mode of operation. I have found it interesting to note how an individual can traverse the maverick continuum and whether an extreme maverick can be saved or whether the intricacies of their maverick personality will continually hamper their success. Maverick leadership is not restricted to those working in organisations. It is applicable to all who aspire to be truly powerful, who want to challenge the status quo, to create a world that they want to live, work and play in. To be Maverick is to be a rule-breaking game changer. The only question left to answer is whether the Maverick is going to create a world we all want to live in or recreate it in their own image, for their own benefit. There is one thing that we can be clear about, is that whichever path the game-changing Maverick catalyst chooses, he will not be short of loyal followers prepared to follow him to the ends of the earth to deliver his vision to an often unsuspected audience. So that's the end of the prologue. I hope it intrigues you and entices you to buy the book, The Maverick Paradox, The Secret Power Behind Successful Leaders. Go and check it out. I'm sure you'll like it. Thank you once again for tuning into the Maverick Paradox podcast. I hope you have enjoyed listening to the prologue of my book. If you would like to learn more about Mavericks and leadership, then please subscribe to my podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, or one of the other popular podcast platforms. Find out how willful independence can ultimately change all our lives. The next time I will be with an interesting guest, ready to explore the mysteries of leadership. Thanks again, and see you soon.